Have you ever wondered how much Epsom salt you should use for your plants? Well, in this video, we're going to get into it. You're here with Mark Batwell at perfectgardens.com. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Come here to perfectgardens.com for all your growing essential needs, whether you need complete grow room packages, tents, cabinets, film for blacking out, grow lights, hydroponics, growing essentials. There are no guarantees in life, although I'm pretty sure I can beat anyone's price out there. Just let me know. So in this video, I'm going to get into a couple different posts from the CalMag versus Epsom salt. First off, I just want to say thank you so much. It's always helpful when someone posts back answering another person's question, just because I get so many questions every single day and I find it tough to be able to reply back to everyone. So first off, the Ed Monsix, he is suggesting 1 gram per gallon is equivalent to 25 to 30 parts per million. Obviously, I recommend everyone to do their own research, right? If you're going to use Epsom salt, I would recommend grab a gallon of water, just like how this gentleman is suggesting, grab 1 gram, add it in, whether you're using an EC meter or parts per million, and measure what you're doing. So if you're going to get into just adding in one specific thing into your product, we've already talked about this, law of minimum, law of tolerance starts to play an effect when adding in one specific component. Obviously, magnesium is super important because it is needed to make the plants look green. You know, we've talked about the chlorophyll molecule and how everything's bonded around the one magnesium molecule. So from Rooster Shooter 76, I actually really loved what he suggested right here too, is that he actually uses magnesium sulfate or Epsom salt, but what he's also doing is he's throwing in oyster shells once a month, and where he's getting this from is local Tractor Supply as a chicken supplement. And once again, right, I love this, and he's actually is consciously or unconsciously balancing everything out with the calcium. So first off, I think the most important thing to do and understand is, what does magnesium deficiency look like, right? So when magnesium deficiency starts to appear in your plants, you're going to see the green start to go to the veins of the leaf, and the center portions, and I don't want to say the center, but the outside portions of the leaf will start to turn yellow. So at this point, most people are going to want to go out and buy calcium magnesium product or even Epsom salt. Just like how the other gentleman recommended 1 gram per gallon is a good place to start. When you add it back to your plants though, how do you know when you've added too much? Well, how it appears is actually you'll begin to see a calcium deficiency within your plants if you add too much magnesium. Once again, that's why a lot of times these two products are combined in the same bottle, is because a lot of times you might add in too much magnesium and it's going to make calcium no longer be uptaked into the plant. So how does the calcium start to appear? It appears in small blotches on the leaves, like little tiny dead spots in a sense. At this point, very often when people start to add in too much of one thing, they get really frightened. They might want to flush the plants, which will be a good option. Most of the time, other growers, they might start to mess with the pH, and they might start to go all over the place versus going back to what they originally started to mess with. I'm going to go back to it and keep this video really simple, guys. If you want to use Epsom salt, just know what magnesium deficiency looks like and what magnesium toxicity will look like and how it's going to appear in the plant. And if you're adding in the magnesium and the green comes back and starts to look really healthy, and then a day or two later you start to see a calcium deficiency, just flush your plants. Or just like how Rooster Shooter 76 suggests, make sure to throw in some oyster shells. Once again, oyster shells, yeah, they'll break down, but you really have to have a microbiology system going if you are going to go in the oyster shell direction. If your parts per million are going above 1,000 and you're shutting down your bacteria and your fungi, well, you might have to find a more water-soluble product to add with your magnesium. I hope this video was helpful. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great grow, everyone. When you give it what it needs as it needs, and you're not giving excess water moisture and all these other things that cause other stresses like bugs or mold or